What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Team So Wealthy. You already know what's going on. They say the sky's the limit, but it ain't no limit for us. You feel me? Like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to get notified for every video I drop. You feel me? Let's get into it. And this video right here, boom, I'm gonna be dropping this video. Gonna be totally different. You feel me? It's gonna be like it's gonna be a reaction to this video right here. The longest prison sentence ever given. You feel me? Like this the longest. Like these people that got like the most time, like ever, like more time than they ever lived. You feel me? Like they won't even live that time, but boom, we gonna get into the video.
So many things I dread. Losing my car keys, getting a cold, forgetting my smartphone at home. Oh yeah, and getting a really long prison sentence. No, we don't want that. But hey, you do the crime, you do the time, right? Here's a list of the 10 most outrageous and longest prison sentences ever. Bernard McGinn, 490 years. I'm not happy about how this one went down, and you'll know why in a while. Bernard McGinn started off as a volunteer in the Provisional Irish Republican Army. In 1978, he killed a man, but he didn't stop there. In 1979, he was charged for the possession of explosives and was sentenced to 10 years. But would you believe that this guy didn't even show up for his trial? I guess he decided that he was not about that prison life. He was on the run for a while and was finally arrested after a siege which lasted about 27 hours.
They gave him 490 years. You feel me? Like, come on, man. Who gonna live 490 years? Like, why would you even give him up that much time? Let's get back.
Family hostage. He was finally detained, but in 1987, somebody thought it was a good idea to release him. Big mistake. Abdulkadir Masharipov. 1,368 years. Is 1,368 years too harsh or too little?
1,300 years. Come on, man. That's what I be talking about.
I think they went easy on him, but I'll let you be the judge. Picture this.
You got the app. Can't be doing all that in my phone. I don't know what it's doing, tweaking. Then I ain't doing no advertising.
I suffered with addiction to opioids for about 3 years after a horrible car accident.
New Year's Eve, and you're happily dancing the night away. Then suddenly, instead of fireworks, you hear gunshots. Where do you run? What do you do? I know I'd be completely horrified. This is what happened at the Reyna nightclub in Istanbul, Turkey, and the man responsible for it all was a citizen of Uzbekistan named Abdulkadir Masharipov. He pulled up to the club in a taxi, then took an automatic rifle from the car and almost instantly opened fire. He entered the club and continued shooting. When he ran out of bullets, he threw some stun grenades, and this gave him a chance to reload. I was shocked to read that he even shot at injured people who were already
a banger. Leave me. Leave it in the comments. Let's go.
on the floor. During 9 people were injured and 39 people were killed. It took about 17 days to find him, but when he was finally caught, he was detained. In 2020, he was sentenced by the Turkish court to 1,368 years in prison. The Islamic State group claimed that it was responsible for the attack, and Masharipov is currently serving his sentence. Number 8. Inés del Rio, 3,828 years. Inés del Rio Prada was arrested in Zaragoza, Spain.
That's one of the highest. I had seen on another video, dude had said the highest is like 1,600 or 1,800, 1,600, 1,800 years or something like that. But I ain't never seen 3,800 years. God dog.
1987. And if you haven't heard of her before, the reason for her arrest will surprise you. She was accused of playing a role in
crazy as a bug.
23 assassinations, and a car bombing. However, her motive was a bit different from the bad guys I mentioned earlier. Inez was part of a group called the ETA in Basque. Their main purpose was to advocate for independence for their country, and they did so in some of the most violent ways. The ETA is considered a terrorist group by several countries, and has been blamed for the murders of at least 825 people during a period of violence, which included bombings and shootings. Inez had many supporters who did not agree with her 3,828-year sentence, and when she was released in 2013, she was greeted by family members who were proudly waving the Basque flag. Of course, this decision did not sit well with everyone, including Marimar Blanco, who led the Victims of Terrorism Foundation at the time. She remarked, "It is hard to digest that these people, who have violated human rights more than anybody in this country, are now being supported by the European Court of Human Rights." Charles Scott Robinson, 30,000.
Get out of here, man. 30,000 years. What you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with 30,000 years in the penitentiary? Man, what? Now 30,000 years old though, everybody named Beer, it probably still be here. Female them being millions of, tens of thousands of years, So probably still be here, but down 30,000 years, bro. Why they even give people that type of time? Like, that shit is crazy. Totally crazy. It blows my mind. Let's get into it.
Years. I don't think that there's a prison sentence long enough for people who endanger and hurt children. The jury who sat on this case seemed to agree with me on this one. In 1994, Charles Scott Robinson was charged with 6 counts of rape. All of his victims were children, one as young as 3 years old. Robinson was given 5,000 years for each count of rape, and this added up to a total of 30,000 years. This wasn't even the first time he'd been in trouble with the law, though. Before his conviction, he'd committed theft and burglary. Perhaps if he'd been arrested immediately, he might not have had time to do all of the other awful things he did. Hopefully, this conviction sends a strong message to anyone else who intends to hurt a child. According to one member of the jury, "By God, we can send a message to the offender that we are not going to tolerate it. We don't want him to have a chance of ever getting out again." 30,000 years is considered to be one of the longest jail terms in American history. Terry Nichols, 161 life sentences, plus 9,300 years without parole. The Oklahoma City bombing occurred in April 1995. 168 people were killed, while over 680 civilians were harmed. The Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building was almost totally destroyed, while hundreds of other buildings in the vicinity were also damaged. In addition to that, at least 86 cars were destroyed. One of the men responsible for this act of domestic terrorism was Terry Nichols, a seemingly simple man who was raised on a farm and liked to spend his time caring for injured birds and animals. I've always suspected the quiet ones, and I guess I'm right. As Nichols got older, he began to develop anti-government views and experimented with explosives. One thing led to another, and now he is serving 161 consecutive life sentences and 9,300 years without parole. Moses Sithole.
Unhappy with your job? At Universal Technical Institute, you can train for an exciting...
Remember what I said about the quiet ones? Well, South Africa...
I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. That was. I ain't gonna eat blowing up buildings. They gave him so many life sentences. What the world? And then this dude.
African Moses Sithole, also known as the ABC Killer, appeared to be quite calm and well-mannered to those around him. He even led an organization called Youth Against Human Abuse, and the main objective...
Like, I already do too much talking unless I know you or whatever, and would like to be me. Yeah, I'll talk to you or whatever, but if I don't really, know you and, being big crowds, and I ain't really no big talker for real. And them was, them quiet words, yeah, that'll do it to you.
Of this group was to get rid of child abuse. Ironically, this innocent-looking guy became South Africa's most prolific serial killer. His main targets were women between 19 and 45, and they were often interviewees for positions within his charitable organization.
More videos like this, if y'all want more reactions, different reactions with me or whatever, let me know if y'all want that, you feel me? And I bring that to you, feel me? That's what I'll be dropping. Different reactions, different videos that I be looking at. Stuff on YouTube myself. You feel me? Let's go.
He would take them to a remote location, then rape and eventually kill them. His youngest victim was the son of one of these women. He was left to die with a terrible head wound after his mother was killed. After committing 38 murders, he contacted a journalist and revealed himself to be the wanted serial killer. He even provided directions to the body of one of his victims. Sithole was arrested, and on December 5th, 1997, he received 50 years for each murder, 12 for each of 40 rapes, and 5 years for each of 6 robberies he had been responsible for. This adds up to 2,410 years because his sentences run consecutively. He is now serving his time in Manguang Correctional Center in Bloemfontein. Dudley Wayne Kaiser, 2 life terms plus 10,000 years. The place was Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The time, Halloween 1976. The crime, a triple murder. The victims were his wife, his mother-in-law, and a college student. A neighbor recalled that after hearing what she believed to be firecrackers, she saw Emily lying in another neighbor's driveway with a wounded chest. Her son was running away after witnessing his mother's shooting, but it got worse. When the police arrived at the scene, they found Emily's mother and Richard Pyron dead.
But I ain't gonna be able to really get through the whole jump, you feel me, for real, because my jump, feel me, about to cut off and everything, but let me know if you want more videos like this, and I'm gonna bring them to y'all, you feel me, and I'm out. Peace.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan.